Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something kind of atrocious, I drank a few too many beers before attempting this song.
Supercalifragilistic, where's the giant black thong?
I'm better than a lumdy lie, lumdy lie.
Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater more. How are you doing today, Andrew?
Oh, I just got back from watching the new Mary Poppins movie that we won't be talking about yet, but,
Spoilers! I wonder what we're doing next week.
I wonder. Spoilers.
But this week, Andrew, what are we covering?
I think we're going to talk about the first Mary Poppins before we talk about the second Mary Poppins.
They made a first one?! Alright, Mary Poppins is a 1964 American musical fantasy film directed by Robert Stevenson and produced by Walt Disney himself, with songs written and composed by the Sherman Brothers, very famous Disney royalty right there. The screenplay was written by Bill Walsh and Don DeGrady, based on P.L. Travers's book Mary Poppins. The film, which combines live action and animation, stars Julie Andrews in her feature film debut as Mary Poppins, who visits a dysfunctional family in London and employs her unique brand of lifestyle to improve the family's dynamic. It was released on August 27, 1964 to critical acclaim, and received a total of 13 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, a record for any other film released by Walt Disney Studios, and it won 5: Best Actress for Julie Andrews, Best Film Editing, Best Original Music Score, Best Visual Effects, Best Original Song for Chim Chimery. A sequel, Mary Poppins Returns, was released in 2018, making it one of the longest gaps between film sequels in cinematic history, at 54 years. Andrew, it might seem ridiculous to say, but what is your overall thoughts on Mary Poppins, just in general, as a film?
It's just amazing. I don't know. I hadn't seen it since a long time ago, and I watched it again this week, and it's long, but it's just a lot of fun, like, all the way through, pretty much.
And it's unstructured fun. It's like actual, like, playtime, it feels like.
Yeah. And I love Mary Poppins as a character, because she's not like this whimsical character that's going to take you on an adventure. She's like a strict nanny that just lets you go on an adventure, I guess. Like,
adventurous stuff may happen, but that is not the reason that I'm here.
Yeah, it's like she knows, but she doesn't show it ever.
Yeah, she is casually disinterested, always.
It's great.
And she will gaslight you into thinking it never happened to begin with.
Yes.
Which is also a very strange part of her character, where she takes you on these grand things, and then it denies them ever happening to begin with.
I feel like it makes sense in some way, but at the same time, it's like you're just trying to make these kids look crazy.
And it's good, like, story about these kids who want to be kids and not grow up, and yet their parents are demanding them to be grown-ups already. It's like Peter Pan, except with a stern figure. A figure that's secure and gonna keep them safe, unlike Peter Pan, who will likely get you killed.
It's like the opposite of the Cat in the Hat.
I want you to elaborate on that.
Well, the Cat in the Hat is like this insane magic creature that comes in and forces you to go on an adventure against your will, and then ruins your house. But then he'll clean it up, I guess, maybe. Whereas Mary Poppins is like this magic creature that comes into your house and tells you to clean your room.
But it changes your viewpoint on it so that you're enjoying cleaning your room.
Exactly. She's the perfect nanny. I wish she would tuck me into bed at night.
Do you think she'd be like one of those nannies that have to like give you a hand job to get the boys to go to sleep?
You said that, not me.
That's something that nannies did in the olden days.
What are you talking about, Jess?
Yeah, that's how they would get the boys to go to sleep. They'd have to give them hand jobs.
Holy crap, why do I live now? Alright, who can invent me a time machine?
They would look like Nanny McPhee or something. They would look like Katie Nana, who was the nanny before Mary Poppins came in.
Yes, but I can close my eyes, Jess.
All right, so, Andrew, what is your general thoughts about Mary Poppins?
You want to talk about Mary Poppins?
Yeah, let's talk about Mary Poppins.
Let's talk about Mary Poppins. I like the right when it opens, she's floating on a fucking cloud just immediately. It's like, all right, that's what type of movie this is.
It sets it up well, and then you got like the Disney old man chorus that it starts every Disney film just singing chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim charoo. And that's
which is a great song.
And then that's the last we see of Mary Poppins for about 30 minutes.
You got the one-man band, Bert, who talks directly to the camera, and I love it.
That was your favorite part of Fiddler on the Roof as well.
He's talking to me, Jess. He's talking to me. I matter. You know, that's what... I'm in the movie.
He doesn't talk to you for the rest of the film either.
No, they never do that. What? We just need like one of these movies where they just talk to you the whole movie. You know, it's just like you sit there and you're like, this is my new friend, and then when it's over, you're like, all right.
No, my friend is gone now.
He's gone. That's fine.
So yes, Bert starts as his first job as a one-man band, and he basically is like, oh, wind's changing. That means a lady's gonna be falling down from the sky sometime soon.
I like that. Like Mary Poppins is magic, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like Bert is also magic, but not as magic.
He's like, he sees the magic and has no claim to it, but enjoys to like revel in it when he can.
It's like he knows about it though. He's like, all right, yep, it's happening. So, I mean, honestly, so does everybody. Like the Admiral is always calling it the winds are changing, and it's referring to arguments happening at a house or something. It's like, how do you know that? But it's whimsical, and I like that.
It's whimsical, and it doesn't need to be explained. Like, they don't explain it away as like, this is how the magic works.
Yeah, they don't even tell you if Mary Poppins is like a witch or like a goddess or something like that. They just kind of like, it's Mary Poppins.
That's just what she is. And I like how everyone just kind of already knows who she is.
Well, I mean, it's Mary Poppins, like
there's a history there, and she like has a good relationship with literally everyone, from like the animals to the objects to the people.
It's Mary Poppins. You know who Mary Poppins is, you know?
Mary Poppins has to come to this dysfunctional household filled with like nuns and nannies and housekeepers and all that, and the mother's absent because she's off fighting for her right to vote, and the dad's at work every day, and he expects positive like outcomes and nothing else. Like, I want my kids marching and all that. And when the kids just want to be kids, he gets angry, and so he decides we need a strong nanny.
Now they do just run off with a kite, which, I mean, I can only imagine in London that's probably not the greatest thing to happen. I mean, I'm sure a lot of shady shit happens in London.
Yeah, but it's like Disney London, where the constable is like super like, oh yeah, go fly a kite, it's all fun.
That's true. That's true. He does say that. Or something similar to it.
Something of that. Like, he's like positive, kind-hearted police that probably would not beat someone to submission.
I mean, it was 1910, so...
So it's...
All right.
So, Mary Poppins... It's hard to describe the plot of this film because there really isn't one.
It's an anthology.
It's like disparate elements slowly coming around the father's arc of remembering how much his kids actually mean to him.
Yep. You got the main storyline, which is with the father, But then you also have, like, the side scenes that are, like, dance numbers or just, like, little adventures that really don't have much impact. And then you have stuff like the laughing guy on the ceiling.
Uncle Albert.
Uncle Albert. Let's talk about when the kids come down with their own advertisement.
They want to pick their nanny for themselves.
Yes, and they want them to be fun and play games and give sweets.
And the father's like, that's just nonsense. Nonsense, I say.
Nonsense!
And he rips
it up and it flies away to the North Pole.
Where Mary Poppins lives. And
she comes down and visits the family.
And she kicks out all the nannies who probably died. They all flew away. They were just men in drag. It's weird watching this film in HD because it's just very obvious all of the nannies in that scene are men in drag.
They didn't want the women to do the stunts? Is that what happened there?
I think that was it. But it's just, they're all very masculine men. They didn't really do much to make them look feminine. They put them in a nanny costume.
They probably figured, like, hey, this is going to be shown in a, 410i or some shit. You're not going to be able to tell what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, but now in, like, Disney 4K, it's like, whoa.
Disney 4K.
I could see all the matte lines.
I'm surprised they didn't CGI in even more nannies.
And Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt CGI'd in.
Ooba dooba, Mary Poppins.
And then he blows away. He's dressed as a nanny. Well, I mean, Disney does own Star Wars.
Yes, this is possible.
So this is a crossover that could conceivably happen.
And Mary Poppins Begins. That's when you get the Jabba the Hutt subplot. Okay, Mary Poppins comes in with the ripped up letter. The dad's like, "How did you get that letter?"
I like that part.
It
looks like she put the pieces onto a photocopier and then copied them onto a new sheet of paper.
Or it just kind of magically came together. It felt like that's just how it came to her.
Well, yeah, but you can see all the rips still. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's weird.
It's interesting. It's just like,
yeah. How did you get that? Mary Poppins is literally the number one gaslighter.
She is.
Just confuses this guy into submission.
Like, she, does all these wacky things and makes you feel like you're crazy for it.
Yeah.
And she basically talks her way into this household.
And then, I like the part where they go up and they try to clean the room, right?
Yeah.
And the kid can't snap to clean his room. It's like, kid, how can you not snap? Come on. Have you ever met someone who can't snap? It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's sad. And so Mary Poppins convinces them to clean the room with the song Spoonful of Sugar, and it's basically just like, fun. Bad thing can be made fun.
Yeah, this is like her theme song in the movie.
Yeah, bad thing can be made fun. Back. And then immediately after that's done, they're just like, we're going for a walk. And they run into Bert again, who is drawing on the street.
That's his new job.
Is he
Every
homeless?
time we see Bert, he has a new job.
Is Bert homeless?
No, he has several jobs.
I think that's just because that's what he needs to do to be able to feed himself that week.
Okay, well, I mean, realistically, that probably is what would happen if you did this, but in terms of in this movie, I feel like it's just implied that he just likes to do different stuff every day, and so he literally just has a new job every day.
My favorite part about him is, it starts raining, and he's like, oh, this is great chestnut weather. Might as well start selling those.
I'm trying to remember all the jobs he had.
Okay, so we first see him as a one-man band. He's
a one-man band.
Then we see him as the artist.
Yep.
And then I think
obviously Chimney Sweep.
Or wait, do we include hospice care for Uncle Albert?
No. Actual jobs that he was performing. I think there was something after Chimney Sweep that I think he did, near the end of the movie.
Oh, he was selling the kites.
Yep, he's selling kites. Yep.
And then in the new one, he's not doing anything.
He's dead.
He's dead. Bert's dead. All right, so they go into a chalk painting, which is an animated sequence, and it's pretty, and it's well done, and it's remarkable how they did that in the 60s. I don't even think green screen was commonplace back then. They had to use something called black screen, where they literally just were in blackness.
It still looks pretty good, though, honestly.
I agree. I think it's really... It bothers me a little bit that the penguins don't have shadows.
I feel like that's, like, animation budget over anything else.
Like, that's the small little complaint I have. Is like, oh, they don't have shadows.
They are cartoons, though, and there's a lot of cartoons that don't have shadows.
That's fair.
Because shadows are hard to draw.
That's why Roger Rabbit is, like, a perfect film. Like, everything feels so well integrated there.
Well, Roger Rabbit was made, like, 25 years after this, so...
Only 21.
21? Well, still a lot.
Yeah, it's a while.
And also, basically, the entire point of Roger Rabbit was to do that, specifically.
And they even have the penguins from Mary Poppins in Roger Rabbit.
Do they?
Yeah. They're the ones serving at the tune bar.
Oh, that makes sense, because they're waiters, technically, right?
Yep. Well, the reason why you have the waiters in there is because Walt Disney was looking at the book, and he's looking at the drawing of, like, the three waiters. You're like, you know what? Waiters always reminded me of penguins. And then,
let's have them be penguins.
That's basically how it happened.
I mean, penguins do look like waiters.
They do. It's perfect.
They look like they're wearing a suit.
And I think that's the reason why Walt Disney gets, like, all the credit he does, because he may not have been there, like, every day, every moment, but his ideas are always, like, brilliant. Like, consistently.
Remember when Disney, as a company, used to make timeless movies that would just, last?
Yeah, they're making them again
Them
now.
today?
Like, they got Lion King coming up, they got Aladdin.
Well, yeah, it's like, remember all those timeless movies? Let's make them again. Let's make them a second time. How many remakes are coming out from Disney this year?
Dumbo, Lion King, Aladdin.
And, I mean, do we count this? The second Mary Poppins?
Well, that's not this year. It's technically
Having
last
seen
year.
it, I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but I would count it as a remake.
I mean, I would too, but it's not coming out this year.
Technically, but yeah, like, recently. Like, it's just Disney. Make a fucking new movie. Like, holy shit. All right, let's go back to Mary Poppins.
All right, back to Mary Poppins. Then, after they do their stuff, they go back to the old homestead, and Mary Poppins sings one of the creepiest lullabies that also sums up her character very well. She sings a lullaby called Stay Awake, which I think is brilliant.
Well, I mean, it's just like an inverted, like, reverse psychology lullaby.
Yeah, but if I were to describe Mary Poppins to someone that hadn't seen it, she's a nanny whose lullaby is entitled Stay Awake, and I feel like that sums her up pretty well.
But she also has another lullaby, though, which is called Feed the Birds.
Yes.
Which is completely different.
Completely different. We'll talk about that song later when we get to the song section. So the next day, they're out to go buy some fish for whatever reason, and Andrew comes up to them and is like, yo, we got an old man on the ceiling.
Hey, here I am. There's an old man on the ceiling. You guys should go follow me.
And they go, and there is indeed an old man on the ceiling, and they have a fun old time. It means nothing. It's just fun. They leave, and...
This scene does have direct plot relevance, Jess.
Yes, and it's brilliant, like, because you just think it's out of nowhere, and it comes back later, and we'll bring that up.
Well, I mean, you're going on over here like it has no relevance.
Well, the
like,
conceit of the scene is when you laugh, you float up onto the ceiling.
What I like is that every, like, cutaway that they do with, like, the little, like, the kids and the Mary Poppins and Bert going on some weird adventure or whatever, they all come back at the end.
In some way or another.
None of them are pointless.
None. You're right. But it also feels aimless as they're happening. It doesn't feel...
Yes, they feel like, oh, this is kind of a fun little thing, but doesn't really have much to do with the, the dad learning a lesson or whatever.
Yeah.
But in all reality, it all circles back and it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So they go back home and Mary Poppins gets yelled at by Mr. Banks, but she reverse psychologies him into thinking that he's taken the kids with him to the bank the next day.
It's not really a reverse psychology, she just gaslights him.
And so he's forced to take his stupid wiener kids to work with him. And there they meet Mr. Dawes Sr., Jr., and the other bankers. And they're like, hey, give me your tuppence and money. And he's like, no, I want to feed the bird because Mary Poppins planted that idea in my head last night.
So my interpretation of this is that Mary Poppins is all-knowing.
She is...
I'm not sure.
She has all the timelines ahead of her.
Well, I mean, there's several things pointing to that. There's this, where basically she sings about the feeding the birds and plants the seed in his head, which causes something that would seemingly be something she'd have no idea was going to happen. But I think she knew. Because the only reason that the father learns his lesson is because this happens. And then on top of that, what is it? What was I going to say? Oh, she tells the kids when she's going to leave, and she knows that it will give her enough time to do everything she needs to do. Unless, of course, she's causing the winds to change, which I guess... Though, I will say in the second movie, that's even stronger, but that's something else.
So, while at the bank, they literally cause a run on the bank, and the entire bank has to shut down because these two wiener kids.
He just didn't want to invest his money. Although, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how much tuppence is, but if it's like 2 pennies, I don't think you can get much out of investing that.
I don't know. The second film has that. You know what? So they leave, and on their way home running, they run into creepy-looking man who turns out to be Bert. As a chimney
Bert
sweep.
in blackface.
That's inappropriate, Bert.
Inappropriate Bert. Just shows how racist it was back in the 60s.
Yeah, you thought Song in the South was bad. All right, so, and in that moment when he runs into the kids, he actually gives a really, nice and level-headed speech about, hey, your dad loves you, and he's got a lot of shit on his plate, and no one's out there helping him out, so maybe stop villainizing him so much.
Yeah, it's a nice level-headed thing to say. I like Bert a lot.
Because I
feel like Bert is the
in this film,
real
no one
hero of the
defends
movie.
Mr. Banks except for Bert. Literally, no one is on his side.
I feel like Mary Poppins is on his side, but she doesn't say it ever.
She's there to save the father, obviously, as Walt Disney said in Saving Mr. Banks.
Which makes sense, but she's never clear with what she wants because that would ruin what she wants.
She's like Dumbledore, where she just kind of fucks with people until she gets her way.
I guess, but she's a lot cooler than Dumbledore, honestly.
Well, who isn't?
Dumbledore is just gay Gandalf.
Gandalf is gay Gandalf.
Gay Gandalf is Angel Reynolds, yeah.
Wizard is gay.
Falsettos.
Yeah.
Wizard is gay Gandalf.
There we go. We figured it out.
Gadolf.
Gandalf the...
Oh no, Gadolf sounds like something else, actually.
Hitler.
Forget that. Bert takes the kids on a wild adventure through the chimneys, and there's a big dance number that lasts probably 20 minutes, and it's amazing.
It grows, too. It, starts on the rooftops, and then it goes into the house, and then goes into the city streets, and,
everybody's dancing. So in the Mary Poppins universe, are blue-collar workers just all magic, or they all can, communicate telepathically, or, what?
They're all just the same person. They're all clones.
They're all Bert?
Yeah, they're just all Bert.
I'd like to picture it where Bert is the leader and all the rest of them are Ernie.
All of you are Ernie. There can only be one Bert. The father is like, Mary Poppins, you better explain this. And she says the best line in the entire film. There's one thing you should know. I never explained anything. And then she just walks away. And then one of my favorite songs comes on between Bert. Like, it's one of my favorite moments in the entire film is between Bert and Mr. Banks, where he sings A Man Has Dreams, which is just this, like, I want it so much. And then Bert's like, very politely, very kindly being like, maybe your dreams should have had less to do with your job and more to do with your kids.
Oops.
Because they're not going to stay young forever. And it's not an indictment of him. It's just... This is
a really common theme in kids and family movies.
But I think this film did it first. Like, you didn't see this very often before Mary Poppins.
Yeah, but like now it's almost a cliche. Like, you see, like, oh, it's the dad that doesn't have time for his kids.
Well, the thing is, in more like in 90s comedies like Liar Liar or anything with Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, or anything like that, they also needed that character to be likable. Whereas in this film, they didn't really care if Mr. Banks was likable. He is kind of a negligent father.
Well, I feel like it helps that they set it in 1910.
Yeah.
Because if this movie took place in the 60s when it was made, I feel like it would be seen in a really different way.
Mm-hmm. And then Mr. Banks is called back to work to basically get fired, and he knows it. And the film takes this very precise moment to follow him on his long walk through the gloomy London streets. And, like, it looks so sad. And everyone has had that moment where they have to walk to something that they know is going to be terrible, and it just feels long, and you're just contemplating every single moment of it.
I mean, he's upset, understandably.
My favorite moment is when he passes by the bird woman, like, spot, and she's not there, and I think it's meant to imply that she's dead, but the sequel might prove me wrong.
Why do you think it implies she's dead?
I don't know, just the ringing of, like, the intense gospel, the choir at that moment.
I thought it just was that she's there in the morning. She's not there at night.
That's fair too, but that was just when I was a kid, that was always my interpretation.
And I feel like he was just looking at the spot that she was in, thinking about what caused everything.
Thinking about his son and, like, what he could have done to, like, not make it as bad.
Yeah, he could have just let him feed the birds.
Mm-hmm. And he goes in,
but I guess
if
he did that, the second movie would have ended very differently.
Yes. He goes in and gets fired, and they break all of his, like, banker stuff, which is a weird moment. It always struck me as weird. And then Mr. Banks has a mental breakdown.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to imply that he realized that he should have more fun, but I think it comes off as just him going absolutely insane.
A little bit. And then he, like, just starts spitting jokes at him, gives the old man the toppins, and runs out. And the old man is just, like, thinks about the joke and starts laughing, flying into the ceiling, dying laughing.
It's kind of sad, but the son of the banker, like, actually sounds like he's, like, genuinely really worried.
Father, no! Father, come down!
Father! It's like, holy shit.
It's one of the best payoffs in the entire film.
Yeah, like, it's pretty good.
And then the next morning, everyone's freaking out like, where's Mr. Banks? Check the rivers. They often like to jump off the bridge. Which is a really dark line for this kid's film.
It's a family film,
You're
Jess,
right.
not a kid's
You're
film.
You're right.
And families are allowed to talk about suicide.
And Mary Poppins is packing up, ready to leave, and the kids are like, why must you leave, Mary Poppins? She's like, only supposed to stay until the wind changed. And then the kids come downstairs, and their father has mended the kite, and they all go out hand in hand singing, forgetting that Mary Poppins existed.
Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height.
And they go out into the sun and start flying kites, but from Bert. And they...
Except for the one that they're they built.
Yep, and they all have fun together, and Mary Poppins watches as everyone is off as a family finally enjoying each other, realizing she's no longer needed, and like a very vulnerable moment, and then just leaves, and the film ends.
Well, you forget that the bankers are also flying kites with them.
Yes, and they give Mr. Banks his old job back.
Not his old job back. They give him a partner position.
They give him a promotion.
Yep.
And that's how the film ends. Happily ever after.
Yep. It's good.
It's good. When you describe it like this, it feels like the most insane film on the planet.
We didn't even mention some of the more insane shit, like the Admiral Boom.
Yeah, we didn't mention Admiral Boom, but really, who hasn't seen this movie?
I really hope everyone has seen this movie.
Like, if you're into filmmaking at all, watch it for the film craft. If you're into musicals at all, watch it for the amazing songs written by the Sherman Brothers.
Or if you just like movies or anything in general, just fucking watch it. It's just good.
It is good, and it holds up really well.
Yeah, like the only thing I would say that doesn't hold up are some of the effects, but even that, most of them are okay still.
And they have a charm even when they don't hold up.
Yeah, like a lot of them you won't like believe, but you also won't be like, oh, that's bad, you know? Let's record a mid-show announcement.
Well,
let's record a mid-show announcement.
Hey guys, we're sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we gotta shill at you.
Shill.
All right, so please subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitchers, at Musicals with Cheese. If you could please keep leaving us reviews. We're still going to be running contests. We're going to keep giving out giveaways. Just keep leaving us a review and you can get on there. Also, follow us on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. Also, follow us at our own personal Twitters. I'm at Jesse McNally. Andrew is at Hey_Doctor. We're on Instagram at Musicals with Cheese. Our YouTube page is Musical Theater Lives. If you want to email us and send us questions and all that, send us an email at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card is created by Jolene Casco, and her Instagram is Jolene Casco. And also, brand new 2019, we have a Patreon up. Do you want to help us keep this podcast going? Come donate to us on Patreon.
Yeah, we want your money to make our show for you.
Yes, it would help us make this better, more consistent, and also do new things that we have planned in the future. Don't worry if you can't do it. Just the best thing you do is keep listening to us and spread it to your friends and everything else. But if you do have a few pennies that you want to send our way once a podcast or once a month, you can set your own limit. You can quit anytime. But if you really want to donate, please feel free.
What's our Patreon at?
We're at Musicals with Cheese.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Let's go back to the show.
Let's go back to the show.
Let's go back to the show and let
back to the show.
Cast off the shackles of yesterday, shoulder to shoulder into the fray. Our daughters will adore us, and they'll sing in grateful chorus.
Well, one of the first songs I really want to talk about, even though it doesn't seem that important, but I love it so much, is Sister Suffragette.
I think it's one of the more pointless songs because really they don't even really bring up the plot line that it implies that this is going to start.
Yep, it was 100% a superfluous song. What had happened was, Glynis Johns was hired thinking that she was playing Mary Poppins. Then she found out and got really upset. She's like, I won't even have a song. And then Walt's like, no, we got a song for you. It's great. It's going to be good. And he turns to Sherman Brothers and he's like, y'all better think of a song.
Give her a song.
And they took a song that was entitled Practically Perfect in every way, and then they just rewrote it as Sister Suffragette. And it used to go, we're practically perfect in every way. And then it eventually became Glynis Johns' song Sister Suffragette.
It's not a bad song. It just doesn't really have any point in the show.
Oh, it doesn't. I find it hilarious because she's like this big suffragette that as soon as like she finds out her kids are missing, she's like, oh no, you know how the cause angers my husband. Hide it all away.
I feel like that's kind of the joke, though.
It's funny, and I do like the song a lot. Like, I hum it a lot, more than pretty much most songs in Disney movies. Like, I still get this one caught in my head.
It's also just totally pointless, though.
100% pointless. Love it, though.
Completely pointless.
But you can't get angry.
But you know what? Most of the movie is pointless.
You can't get angry about it being pointless. Like, it's just enjoyable.
It also, like most things that are pointless in the show, it comes back at the end, and she ties the sister suffragette thing onto the kite.
And they just needed a reason to get the mom out the house and make there a need for a nanny.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's the only reason why she's the suffragette.
Yeah, because it doesn't really have any plot relevance.
But there is no plot to this film.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way.
A spoonful of sugar is basically...
Helps the medicine go down.
It is Mary Poppins' anthem.
It comes back constantly.
Mm-hmm. And it's effective. It's like, you got this shitty thing. How about we make it more fun, or at least more tangible?
If you had to sum up the entire film in one song, would this be the song you would pick?
100%. A lot of people would choose Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but I feel like this one actually gets the message of the song and not just like the tone of the show.
Yeah, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a good song, but it doesn't describe what Mary Poppins is trying to teach to people as much.
No, and it also doesn't describe her personality. It's just fun.
Yeah, I think a spoonful of sugar is perfect.
Don't rest your head. Don't lie down upon your bed.
I love Stay Awake so much. Like, that was a song that was almost cut, and it would have been a tragedy, because this is such a haunting, nice song that, much like Sister Suffragette, doesn't really add anything but plot-wise, but it makes you feel things.
Jess, aren't you the one that usually likes the songs that are more plot-heavy?
I am.
In this, you're like, yeah, those two pointless songs, those are my favorites.
They are, and I don't know how to explain why that is. It's just, in films, unlike on stage, you kind of appreciate the sprinkles a bit more.
I guess maybe that could be it. But I don't think that's it. I think that you like it because there is not very much plot to this anyways.
Right.
So...
And that's not to say I dislike the plot songs. It's just like these moments, like it is a bombastic film altogether. And these quieter, more intimate moments are the ones that really stick with me. This and Feed the Birds, really.
Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. The birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence.
Feed the birds.
Let them know there's tuppence all around.
Okay, that's not how the song goes. Please don't think that that's how the song goes.
But if you, yeah, don't think that. This song is like Feed the Birds was Walt Disney's favorite song that was ever written. Like, he went to his grave with this as his favorite song.
Do you know why? Or does he just think it's a good song, well written?
In the latter half of Walt Disney's career, he was kind of disillusioned with the films he was making. That he had just pigeonholed himself into making a lot of kiddie films. He was recorded saying after walking out of To Kill a Mockingbird, just like, why can't I make a film like that? And I think with this scene in Feed the Birds, that was the closest he got to that outside of Fantasia.
Which no one liked Fantasia.
I mean, it got a life eventually, but it took a while. And it
is a really good song.
And it has gravitas and pathos. Like, it feels big.
Though, I will say when I was watching it, I was like, this is kind of pointless. Why is she bringing this up?
Well,
and then you realize that it actually does have a point later, but...
Sometimes you just need, like, a moment of, like, seriousness. Severity.
See the birds, tuppence a bag.
What a sight.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company.
Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them what sings chim chim chiree, chim chiroo. Chim chimney, chim chim chiree, chim chiroo.
So, let's talk about Chim Chimmery.
Do they ever really sing this song in full?
Yeah, they do when he, walks them home.
I feel like it's still a shorter rendition of it.
I feel like it's, a continuation. It starts when he gets there and ends right before Steppin' Time.
Chim Chimmery is a great song.
It is, and it gives you, it's like gibberish words, but it feels right. And the Sherman Brothers were great at that.
It's like a kind of a dark tone to it, almost. But it's, I don't know, it's really well done.
Mm-hmm. And I get what you mean about the darker tone. It has this timbre to it that feels kind of sinister, but it still is also fun.
It's not I would say probably whimsical. Like a whimsy, like a dark whimsy.
Mm-hmm. You're on the roof, you could fall, but it's fun.
Especially when he's singing about, the rooftops of London. That part gets kind of, it really sounds kind of dark, but it's not. He's singing about something good, you know?
But it's once more, it's you could have just kept it all goofy, but you have that quieter moment where he's just, describing how pretty London is.
It's great. It's a really good song.
Mm-hmm. Then Andrew's favorite.
It's not my favorite song. It's probably my favorite sequence, though, because the dancing is fucking amazing. The song is not bad, but it is kind of...
it's literally 3 lyrics.
It's not...
Step in time, then 1 line. Da-da-da-da-da, step in time, da-da-da-da, step in time.
Yeah, it's not a memorable song. It's just something to dance to. But the dancing in the sequence is really good.
It's incredible, and they use the set so well.
Yeah, when they're on the roof and they're jumping across the rooftops and stuff like that, it's just really well done. It's hard to talk about dancing, I guess, but it's fucking good.
The only part of that song that I would have probably not needed was the demon Mary Poppins spinning around.
Oh, yeah, where they close up on her face and she's spinning her head like a ballerina. Well, I mean, that's how people spin their heads when they spin like that, though. You're supposed to look straight and then flip really fast and then look straight and so that's why it's like that. But yeah. Of course.
My world was calm, well ordered, exemplary. Then came this person with chaos in her wake. And now my life's ambitions go with one fell blow. It's quite a bitter pill.
Let's take a moment to talk about one song that's nobody's favorite, but I love it. And that's
Which one is that?
Man Has Dreams.
I don't think I can remember how this song goes.
A man has dreams of walking with giants to make his niche on the edifice of time.
Thank you, Jess. I remember how it goes now.
It's basically a reprise of all of Mr. Banks' previous songs. Sad reprise. Just about how...
Well, yeah, because...
his life has fallen apart.
I think he finally realizes that he was chasing the wrong thing.
And it's not even shoved down your throat, and it's not demonizing Mr. Banks either.
Well, it's not saying that you shouldn't be trying at your job or that it's bad to have a career. Like, I feel like some of these type of movies where they're like, you should be focusing on your kids. It ends with them like quitting their job to spend time with their kids, and it's like, I think they might have went a little too far.
Yeah.
Don't you need that job to support your kids? But okay.
Like, have you seen the more recent Christopher Robin movie at all?
No, I have not.
I just watched it, and it kind of has that message, and I'm like, oh, God.
It's like, you have to have a job. You know?
Like, the message of that film is, like, do nothing and hope everything goes well.
I feel like there's quite a few Disney movies that you could basically boil the message down to that, though. It's like, just wish upon a star and everything will be great.
That's fair, and we talked about that in our Muppet episode a little bit.
See, but the Muppets, they chase their dream. It's exceptionally easy for them because I guess Orson Welles just likes them.
But I love that song, and I love Bert, kind of trying to jam in Mary Poppins' message, but it also kind of takes the power away from Mary Poppins, the fact that really that final nail in the coffin was not given by her or the children, but by Bert.
Bert is like the main character, I think.
Really?
Well, not the main characters. The main character is the kids.
No, the main character is Mr. Banks, sir.
I don't think so.
He has the I Want song.
Fuck you. The kids are in it way more than him. They're the main characters. But I think Bert is a more important character than Mary Poppins.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna call bullshit in a second, but keep talking.
Well, why are you gonna call bullshit? Like, what's your reasoning?
I want to hear your reasoning first.
My reasoning that Bert is more important than Mary Poppins is I think Mary Poppins is more like almost a metaphor, whereas Bert is real. You know, he's like the real deal. Like, you could almost cut Mary Poppins out of a lot of it and just have Bert teach most of the lessons. Because he's the one that relates to the kids more, whereas Mary Poppins is just kind of there causing magic stuff.
Yeah, but Mary Poppins is kind of like the guiding figure, and Bert is more equally as bad as the kids, childlike.
But he's not. He's not equally bad. He knows when to be responsible. He just likes to have fun.
Let's rewind time. Do you think Mary Poppins did this to Bert when he was a kid? And taught him how to have fun as a child?
I think it's implied because Bert knows Mary Poppins, but then again, fucking everyone knows Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
So. I almost feel like Bert is also kind of a magic character.
My question is, do you think that Bert is a success story for Mary Poppins, where he was in a very strict family and then he learned to have fun and became a blue-collar worker?
I don't know. I think at first you want to believe that, but then there's other stuff that happens that, Bert is kind of a magic figure in his own right. He teaches lessons to the kids on his own. And sometimes he has, the ability to summon minions and shit. I don't fucking know. The fact that he has this whimsical personality where he works a new job every single day. That's not something that can really happen in the real world.
You know what else can't really happen in the real world?
What's that?
A man can't make his house into a ship.
Well, he's another whimsical character. Admiral Boom.
Seems like the only thing that isn't whimsical in this fudging movie is the bank.
No, I mean, if you go by the second movie, even the bank is, though.
Yeah.
Because apparently the bank can fucking turn 2 pence into 20,000.
When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite.
Let's go fly a kite. Bert gets his last job as a kite salesman.
I think this is like the most emotionally like gut punch. Like, I don't know what it is about this song, but it makes me just want to cry.
Really?
Yeah, it just like is
I don't
so
see that at all.
happy to see, and it just like makes me think of childhood nostalgia, and I'm just like, makes you feel good. It's like one of those good happy like dramatic happies.
It's a good ending. I wouldn't call it a gut punch, but
It's like a positive gut punch where you, despite how whimsical this film is, you still need this emotional resolution where you have this family come together.
Do you think that they kept in touch with Bert?
Maybe.
Like, I feel like they met with Bert almost as much as they met with Mary Poppins.
Well, yeah, and he stuck around.
Yeah, Bert's not going to fly away on a magic whatever he would have.
Chimney street thing. Chimney brush.
Well, he's a kite salesman now, so I guess he'd use a kite.
Or a balloon. Let's Go Fly a Kite is a good ending.
It's a good ending. This is a great movie. If you haven't seen this movie, why the fuck are you listening to our show?
Yeah, go fucking watch Mary Poppins. It's gotta be on Blu-ray. I own like 4 copies of it. Come on, watch Mary Poppins, you cuck.
It's actually a mistake to not be watching Mary Poppins and watch our show instead. I'm
really
not even kidding.
Mary Poppins is a perfect film that literally has no flaws.
Yeah, like, the closest it has to flaws is dated effects, but you know what?
After 54 years,
care.
let me see you look as good.
Yeah, like, I don't fucking care. It still looks good.
It's like Citizen Kane, like, really, you're gonna go nitpicking that apart?
This is better than Citizen Kane.
Really? Okay.
What's your argument against that, Jess?
I mean, there are no songs in Citizen Kane, so...
The music's already better. There's not even a competition.
All right, Andrew, what is your overall thoughts on Mary Poppins and your cheese rating?
It's really fucking good. And cheese rating, I'm trying to think of like something spectacular to give it as cheese. I'm gonna give it Wensleydale.
Wensleydale,
which is one of the most popular cheeses in the UK.
Perfect. All I know about Wensleydale is that Wallace from Wallace and Gromit liked it a lot.
Oh, I love Wallace and Gromit.
Who doesn't? But I love Mary Poppins too. It is literally one of my favorite films of all time. And I'm a little apprehensive about the sequel, and I'm trying to save my actual thoughts until we talk about it next week. But I don't think anything will ever touch the first film in quality, no matter how hard they try.
It's just got such a magic tone to it. Like, it is actually magic, what they did with it. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think they can touch it.
And Walt Disney knew it at the time that this was going to be his masterpiece. This was like the last film he made before he died. And what a one to go out on, really.
To be honest, it's a shame that this isn't more of a representation of Disney as a company, because I think if you were to try to describe Disney magic to somebody, the perfect movie to show them would be Mary Poppins.
Yes, and really, I can't even compare it to another film or another musical. I can't really put it in the same genre or category.
It's just good. There you go. Go fucking watch it.
Watch Mary Poppins, goddammit.
Why are you still here?
Yes. Even if you've seen it before, go watch it again. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Keep leaving us reviews. We're going to have more contests and we'll pick you out from the review chain. Follow us on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. Our Instagram, Musical Theater Lives. Our YouTube page. Actually, our Instagram is not that. Our Instagram is Musicals with Cheese. Our YouTube page is Musical Theater Lives. Our email is Musical Theater Lives. If you want to shoot us an email, please check out our title card artist, Jolene Casco, and her Instagram is Jolene Casco. Our Patreon is at Musicals with Cheese. Donate us a few dollars if you really want to. You got a lot of perks there. You can get a lot of really cool stuff. So check out our Patreon, guys.
Musical Theater Lives at Gmail, by the way,
what the
for
fuck
the
did
email.
I say?
You didn't say anything. You just said Musical Theater Lives.
Musical Theater Lives at gmail.com is our email.
Yes.
All right. Andrew, thank you for watching with us. This was fun. It was a little scatterbrained. Hopefully I can edit something out of it.
I'm sure this is salvageable. We have more than an hour of material here. I'm sure some of it is good.
Okay. I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And this was Musicals with Cheese. We'll see you next week.